Speaking of the Olympics,
Well,
interesting start.
yeah, we may as well go there. So the opening ceremony was held this morning for those who are catching up to that. So one of the last stages of it, Burn, was a boat, and it was quite dramatic. We had on this boat Carl Lewis, Serena Williams, Rafa Nadal, and...
Legends.
Who? Nadia Comăneci.
Oh, there we are.
The 10.
There was a hairy moment for both Carl and Serena, who nearly fell out of the boat at one stage. And then, no, it wasn't going there.
Well, they dodged the turd on the River Sen.
Well, it might have been that, Bill. Or they might have been undeterred, as I heard Eddie say yesterday. Yeah. Nadia had managed to hold her feet, Jim, but it just reminded us when I flagged this with you today.
I love it.
Nadia Comăneci, the famous gymnast from the Montreal Olympics of
First
1976.
ever to record a perfect 10.
Perfect 10 when she was 14 years of age. Backed it up in Moscow in 1980. And then we have reason to have a special soft spot for Nadia Comăneci.
You're not going in.
We are, Bill. We are.
Because our most famous bit of audio.
Triple M Zone, when he started to forge this amazing career that he's now got. It all began for BT in the latter years at Collingwood, as we know, and it began for him on the 3KZ radio show, Jim, which became 927. It was the big brekkie. He used to go in.
That's it.
You used to work with Knackers and BT on the morning show.
That's it.
And he interviewed Nadia Comăneci, and this is how he introduced her.
Here we go.
I speak of probably the greatest gymnast of all time, Nadia Comăneci. Good morning to you, Nadia.
Hello.
Hello.
Come and in.
Just one more time, Rosie, just on how he says it.
Get it right.
Nadia Comăneci.
Just cut it short. We hang, you know what, Jim, don't we, on Bernie for asking the worst question ever asked in sports media.
It was a good question.
It may actually be the second worst question because we have delved back into this interview that Brian Taylor did with Nadia Comăneci. And just remind everyone, when she won Olympic gold for the first time, she was only 14 anyway in Montreal in 1976. BT wanted to explore her career before Montreal. So you do the maths on that as you set this up and then listen to how this question unfolded.
Was it true that in your first international competition that you failed badly?
First international competition?
Yeah, before 1976 Montreal Games, in one of your big competitions, that you only, I think, scored 7.25 on the beam. Was that true?
Yeah, this was when I had 9 years old.
Yeah.
She was 9. Still scored a 7.2. What a question. Failed badly.
Hit him in the 3KZ.
How do you reckon the interview's going? So she just wants to get off now.
Clearly,
She's had enough. And it went on.
I reckon when she heard her name, Comăneci, that probably got her off to the wrong start.
She didn't fall out of the boat today.
No.
Carl Lewis nearly did.
Well, speaking of BT, of course, doing magnificent work on our station, Channel 7.
Yes.
And also now his own podcast, The Life of Brian.
Which you were on at the start of the year.
I was, and that's the most listened to version.
Although
Bruce McAvaney has now come on.
No,
so
Bruce.
I'm sure Macca would have
Mentioned you.
eclipsed that. But another man came to our attention, Bernard, has done a podcast with Brian on The Life of Brian. It just never went to air.
Just had no punch.
No.
You told me you were going to see BT to be interviewed for the podcast.
No zing.
Hasn't gone to air yet. Little 3-letter word you missed there, Jim. Y-E-T.
So they've actually listened to it,
What have you heard,
Harrison and Bristle, and it's so lame, they've shelved it.
Questions weren't great. Let me tell you. He asked you, what about your 4 grand final losses? We have a laugh about that. And we talk about 89. Then he moves on. We don't get to 92, 95. He's got to have a look at
He
himself.
was bored with them.
Hey?
He was bored with
No,
them.
I was leading into some beautiful stuff.
Were you?
Just like that.
You and Gary Ablett kicked 11 between you?
No, I didn't go. I did go with it. By the way, that fashion parade I was talking about, where that bloke's doodle popped out, it was sponsored by Lecoq.
Oh,
I forgot to say.
You forgot that bit.
he's going home.
I forgot to.
He did very unspecial comments a couple of weeks ago, and he ripped out a couple of take a big black Sharpie out, and like a couple of real lame ones.
Who's a good player?
Thought
Charles?
they landed well, so that's all he's done since.
Harry Deer. Oh, dear.
Deer in the headlights.
Where was he? He wasn't from WA, this bloke. Coburn.
No, Le Coq, sorry, as Jim would call it.
Coq,
But,
sorry.
no, French, Le Coq. I like that.
Did you hear the commentary on the... Oh, sorry, we're still talking.
Yeah. No,
The commentary
There
at
was
the
an
opening
issue, wasn't
ceremony.
there?
there was an issue.
There was an issue with the
host.
ceremony today for
Yes.
the Paris Olympics being opened, and Rosie caught up with
Rose.
this.
You're not going with this,
This is
Rose.
the commentary that they had.
Now, this is Rose, not me.
I don't know.
This
It
is
was
you,
part of the official commentary
Thank you,
of
host.
the incident at
host
the
has set
opening
him up.
ceremony.
Oh, you did it.
Oh, breakfast host. She's doing breakfast now. She's joined our show. Right?
Of course she has.
Setting
Always
them
been
up.
on our show.
Setting up.
Well,
Now-
you didn't set it up.
Well, I
They're
did.
the pilots,
I thought it was
the
a
French
bit-
pilots.
Yeah, well, you got to
Yeah.
explain.
No. Opening ceremony.
Oh,
the
right.
French
I see.
people.
That's right.